Testing, testing, testing.
Is Shane coming? Huh? He's not. Okay. Right on time. All right. Okay. We'll go ahead and call the meeting in order and ask Pastor Elliott to lead us in their invocation. If everyone please stand. Welcome, everyone. Welcome tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's always a privilege to represent Lowell Smyer United Methodist Church. Thank you for your invitation. Thank you to all the city council and city staff as well, and to particularly the member of our church, Councilman Dwayne Chitwood. Let us bow our heads and hearts together today. Oh God, we come before you with great gratitude. Particularly, we are thankful for the recent Easter season. We thank you for the gift and the sacrifice of your Son, Jesus Christ. We thank you for being a God of love who is with us now in this very room. You never leave us or forsake us, O Lord. Your grace has brought us safe thus far, and your grace will lead us home. We thank you for making each of us in this room, every person we meet, every citizen of this city and every city, in your own image, O Lord, with dignity and infinite worth. We thank you for the calling you've given each one of us to be good stewards of your creation, to bless and work for our city here in Lowell, to love our neighbors as ourselves. Thank you as well tonight, God, for these your servants, our mayor, our city council members, city manager, and all our city staff. We are grateful for everything that they give us each and every day as they work for our community and the betterment of it. We also give thanks for the way of service that has been chosen to take up on behalf of all of us. We all come to this room tonight as complex human beings carrying burdens, carrying joy and hope, trusting that you alone can hold us together, O God, in your love and peace. Help us, Lord, to trust you more than our fears and our wounds, and even more than our accomplishments. Let us lean on your everlasting arms tonight. We pray all these things in the name of the one who comes, and all God's children assembled said together. Amen.
Thank you. Before we have the Pledge of Allegiance, I'd like to say this. It's time for us to be thankful for our soldiers, our military people, all these people laying in the street protesting what's going on in the world. But those soldiers, 18, 20 years old, out there on those battleships and out there flying overhead trying to take care of us, we need to remember them and let that be a lesson to all of us. Thank God for them. Thank God for our pastor here being with us tonight. Thank God for all of them.
Amen.
Now we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
And thanks to everyone. Thank you for being here. All right. We got one member out tonight, it looks like, Mr. Robinson, so we'll make that duly noted. All right. Then the first thing on the agenda will be the public comments, if anyone has anything to say. Just
Do we need to adopt the amendment?
says public comment.
Okay, sorry, I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, please, if you'd be the attorney, I'll try to be the mayor.
Fair enough.
Thank you. All right, let's get busy.
Oh, sorry. Are we
Yes, sir, yeah, just state your name for the record, please.
microphone here?
Up there. Thank you. We appreciate you being here.
My name is Steven Artiega, a member of the City of Lowell. I just had address 1203 Jenna Lynn Court, Lowell, North Carolina. Am I good to go? Awesome. Yeah, I just had one primary sort of comment question. We moved in about a year ago, and when we had moved in, I saw an article in the Gaston Gazette, I think from maybe like 3 years ago, that they installed smart water meters, like the ones that can be read without manually, 3 or 4 years ago. And I know in the article it had mentioned having the ability to like access that data in real time, like actually being able to see your water usage. I know last year around this time in the summer there was a large issue with the water usage and people were complaining about it, and I think one of the biggest issues regarding it is surrounding visibility. People have no idea how much water they're using, and then they get this bill at the end of the month and it's like, you've used this many cubic feet of water, and they have absolutely no visibility as to, oh, that was on Tuesday or that was on Thursday. And so maybe it's something that I'm missing, but from my understanding, it seemed as if the article written indicated that with these smart water meters, there would be some sort of visibility into up to the minute or, up to the hour water usage. If the city's not planning on like fleshing out some sort of whole application or something like that, just anything with like raw public accessible data, I think would be very useful for the citizens, just to be able to see where their water usage is from day to day. With the electrical usage, I can log into my Duke Energy app and see that, oh, my electrical usage spiked at this time. Now I know what I need to conserve. With the water usage, we're just completely flying in the dark on it. So the issue is going to crop up again with the new construction houses and more people moving in. People are going to have these shocking water bills with zero visibility. I don't know if we had the opportunity to be part of that, the Two Rivers Utilities, and we're managing it ourselves, but just a myriad of issues compounding, and I think it's going to create more problems in the upcoming months. So,
I think that the biggest thing that we read the meters here in the office, and if you have a spike in your water bill, they'll usually let you know that something's going on. That's the good thing, because they monitor pretty good. I know I've had a leak. They let me know I was having a leak, and I appreciated that. But as far as up-to-date minutes or whatever, you can anytime you feel that you need to have a question, just call City Hall and ask for Pam. She's over the water department, and she'll be glad to help you. And that's a good idea, to stay on top of it, because you don't want to be blindsided either. Usually if something's going wrong, they'll let you know, and that helps you, because you can get a plumber out there, because if it's going up real high, usually you'll have a leak or something. But I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you speaking. That's what this is all about, is democracy, our little town, to where people have a place to come and vent their issues, and thank God for you. Anything else?
no, sir.
All right, well, thank you for being here.
Thanks,
Anyone
sir.
else like to speak?
Candy Funderburg, 600 Robeson Boulevard. I know y'all are getting ready to have another budget meeting on Friday. You can't speak on Friday, so I was just going to bring some thoughts forward to you guys tonight. In 2021 and the 2021-22 budget, the council at that time increased taxes by 6 cents because the police department, and I think Mr. Bates, he was the chief at that time, which he did a great job as an officer and the chief. They wanted 2 police officers, 3 new cars, and body cams for each officer. So we increased the taxes, by 6 cents. And actually 6 cents on a $100,000 house is only $60 a year or $5 a month. Okay. And the reason Mr. Chief Bates at that time requested these things was he's very concerned about the safety of his officers working alone at night, and now with the increase in crime and everything's coming from Charlotte, and for some reason everybody finds Lowell, I feel like we need to increase our police department again. And for this budget, I know the only thing I know, they're wanting 2 police officers, 2 cars, and increase in pay. And I believe to get 2 police officers, it's going to take 4 cents increase. And on a $100,000 house, it's $40 a year or $3.33 a month. I'm going to go from $100,000 to $400,000 house is $160 a year and $13.33 a month. And I really hope that y'all will think about that. I don't know a whole lot of the numbers anymore since I'm not on council, but we need more police officers. FBI stats several years ago, we were down 4 or 5 officers. So if they're requesting 2 police officers and 2 cars, I hope you guys will give that to them, because we need to, and with all the houses that are just been built and there's more coming, we're going to have 2 police officers maybe every year until we can get it built up. And I know y'all kind of were waiting on that tax revenue to come up, but it's not going to be here this year or next year, or maybe not the next, because all the houses won't be built out. So if you increase it now, this time, cut it again. You cut it 13.5 cents 2 years ago, and with that, now there's a time that if that hadn't have been cut, I wouldn't be asking for a tax cut, because definitely would not have needed it. Thank you.
Thank you. I just, what you say is true. Your taxes are always high. I agree with you. And whenever you folks had the reevaluation, you didn't pay that any attention. That's why we were able to cut the taxes, Candy, because y'all didn't, when you had a reevaluation, you didn't reduce the tax rate not 1 cent. But since this council's been elected, this city's been taken care of. This is the greatest council in the history in the history of Louisville. Cutting your taxes from 49 cents to 35.5 cents, and we have a hangover. We got the fire department that we're paying this 11.5 cent tax to the fire department, but people don't understand how tough it is to balance the budget and to keep things going. And having to borrow garbage trucks from another city is not nothing to do with our tax rate. It's because of the lack of interest from the employees, especially the public works director, not to keep this facility, to keep this equipment up to date. I haven't seen a truck washed since he's been here. I haven't seen anything. The tires are flat. The tires have steel showing. I mean, the police chief over there had his officer come over and read me the riot act when I was over at the Public Works compound. Whenever one of the Public Works employees called and said I was over there harassing them. Listen, you got steel sticking out of the front of a tire, steering tire, you better believe old Larry's gonna be over there to let you know you don't drive those things on the highway. And the policemen need to give them a ticket when they're not, I don't care if they work here or not. Listen, I'm talking, you're not interrupting me.
I am interrupting you.
You're not interrupting
You can
me.
be
You're out of
quiet.
order. I'm not loud. I'm talking, listen, I'm 71 years old. I wanna be able to hear what I'm saying.
55.
Well, then
You're
listen
getting a little loud.
and have an education.
He's not out of order
No.
if he's bringing this up during public comment. This is public comment.
Listen, I'm commenting
can
on the
be a little
comment.
You
of
bit
Mr.
quiet.
you have a council member
Listen,
that wants to be recognized.
as someone comes in this council room and tells us about the tax rate, I have, as a mayor, I want to let the folks know that we're not stupid, that we know what it costs to run this city, and that's what I'm speaking about. These folks that continue to hassle us about tax rate and things like that, that's not true. We're in good shape. We're still in good shape, and we'll be able to balance this budget this year. But I'll hush and I'll move on to my comments. Yes, please.
I can never say you were stupid.
I'm not stupid.
Like all of you, you're very smart people.
You better believe
And
it.
the city is doing great, but if we need new police officers and everything for the city to have, then increase the taxes for 4 cents. It's nothing.
Listen, if we need to raise taxes, we'll raise taxes. But right now, enjoy. I've had none of you folks that had their taxes cut come up here and write a check for the difference of what you were paying. You don't have to. But if you feel like you want to make a donation to the city, we're always open. And if you want to write a check, we'll take it. And thank you. Now, anyone else having? I'm just glad I was able to speak, and I'm sorry if I interrupted anyone, because I did not. But if you have anyone else that'd like to speak, please do it. That's what this is open. This is an open meeting. If you have anything to say, please speak. And thank you, Mr. Chitwood, for interfering. The next thing on the agenda, will be the adoption of the agenda for this meeting.
Make a motion to adopt the agenda. Hold on, we need to make
Oh,
an
we need
amendment.
to add 6B and 6C to the agenda.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't
I
see
make
that.
the motion to adopt the agenda with the addition of 6B and 6C.
Thank you. All right, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Then this adopt the agenda for tonight with these two changes. Thank you. All right, the next thing on the agenda is going to be the approval of the minutes from 3/10/2026. If you have any questions, or if you'd like to approve the agenda, approve the minutes, please do so at this time.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes for March 10th, 2026. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Now we can do the, what's the special presentation? What is that for? Well, it's on here. I didn't know either. Since you're going to be the mayor, I guess you could tell me what it was. But thank you. The consent agenda, please. Please say.
All I was asking you to do was say it in a quieter voice. There's no reason to yell.
I only have one
We're all
voice.
amongst ourselves right here, all in the same room.
I appreciate your interest, but I'm gonna be heard, whether you
Well, I'll
understand it or
still
not. I want
say
you
it.
to understand what I'm saying. That's why I speak loud, because I want you to understand what I'm saying. Okay, the next thing on here is the
Not
consent
when you yell,
agenda.
I just turned it off.
Well, thank you. The consent agenda, please, if you want to adopt.
I make a
consent-
motion, we adopt the consent agenda.
The
as-
entire consent agenda. Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Public hearing for Article 8 text amendment. You have that, Tyler?
Yeah, we're good. We'll open public hearing to consider proposed text amendment to the City of Louisville's Development Ordinance, Article 8-8.1, Table of Use, Section 1, General Use, to add the use of motorcycle sales, new and used, parts and service, and recreational vehicle sales, new and used, to the MU Mixed Use District as a listed use.
Okay, we're now in public hearing. If anyone has a comment on this,
We need to make a motion to go into public hearing. Make a motion to go into public hearing.
Second.
I thought the mayor could just automatically say, go ahead and go into public hearing. It should be, it's on the
That's
agenda.
why you don't understand how to be a mayor.
Excuse me, I should have said that, sorry.
Yeah. All right, so we need a motion to go into public hearing. You got a motion, a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. All right, okay, we're in public hearing. If anyone would like to speak at this time about the matter we're talking about, you're welcome to. Anyone? There not been any comment from the public? The council have any comments?
So we're approving for all the multi-use, be able to do motorcycles and repairs for all multi-use, or just that one section we're talking about it?
This list, so when this.
How is that?
Yeah, so if this gets approved, it would be for any of the MU districts, MU2 districts.
So I thought we were just gonna do that, rezone that down there. Or that's.
Yeah, so there was,
Huh?
For the campers.
For the campers and,
and we can, and you can amend this of how this wants to be approved by saying how you'd like. If you want to make that like a conditional down there for that, you could do that. Correct.
So what is proposed is just adding the two uses.
For that.
Motorcycle sales and then auto sales in the MU2 district.
Correct.
That's what's.
for the whole district.
For the whole district,
Whole
not just
MU.
at that site. Anything that's currently zoned
MU2, that's correct.
So
Or that
whoever-
may be rezoned MU2.
So, for instance, if a housing development's MU2, they could have a motorcycle or a camper repair in there, is what it's saying?
That's right.
Yes,
And the person that asked for this, is, I guess it's a person, correct?
it's
More
a
than-
business, yes.
Business, whatever. Are they here? Are they present tonight?
They are not here tonight, no, sir.
So could I make the motion to make it conditional for that property only?
No, there's not a proposal just as to that property. The only option right for tonight is to change the zoning ordinance. That's kind of what the public hearing is about. If you can choose not to change it, you can vote against it, and then they could come back and try to rezone the property to something that would allow that particular
Well, see, I
sale.
thought that's what we spoke, I
yes.
thought that's what we
So the
spoke
zon-
about.
The zoning is currently MU2, it's just adding the listed use for motorcycle sales there currently.
Right,
Or-
but so if it's not allowed, if motorcycle sales are not allowed in MU2, they'd have to rezone it to 74 commercial or vehicle services.
Correct,
They'd have to come
correct.
back as a rezoning to propose a particular zoning district that would allow that use.
Correct.
So this will just be a precursor, and then we'll come back and adopt it to be the right ordinance in the book for whatever ordinance you're calling for. And what's the zoning ordinance you're looking for this? What will be the correct zoning ordinance? Is that what you're changing it to? Is that what
I'm
you're
not
asking?
changing anything. I think there's a public hearing to add as a listed use to MU2.
Yeah, correct.
Well, that would
Um,
change it from MU2, will it not? It will still, MU2
No.
doesn't have that.
Right.
We're
It
just-
would change the
You're
MU2
making one
district.
amendment to put this in this, for this one particular business, but all the areas MU2 will have motorcycle sales everywhere.
As an option.
It's
If
not
this-
just, so it's not a true ordinance, it's just this one deal.
It's just an amendment.
Yeah, for this one particular individual.
Well, no, it's actually an amendment for all of MU2.
That's what it should be, I agree. But not just for this one particular business. If you're gonna change this zoning, it needs to be in that, for the whole ordinance.
That's right.
My concern is if we have like a residential area or something within that mixed use zone, then
So-
you're giving them access
You're giving them
to have
access.
a business in a residential area.
So you, under other zoning regulations, it wouldn't, they would be considered, because under this one, they would have to have like certain criterias, and they meet those criterias for like storage of things, so you wouldn't have like 20 recreational vehicles out in a residential area to work on, because
Excuse me, but there's never, if a person wanted to come before the council and ask for that, they'd have the right to do the same thing as these folks are, correct?
correct, but there's other there's other requirements that they would
Other
have.
mitigating circumstances where it would
Correct.
be
So,
up or down.
so the likelihood of that happening in a residential area would not be likely, because again, there's gonna be other stipulations that they
When
would
you
have
put
to have.
something on the books, you put something out there, and people read what's happening, I mean, people are not stupid, they understand. When you make changes in zoning, and they're looking for a way to enhance their property and make money, you open up the can of worms, I think it ought to be up or down to be included in that ordinance or not.
It's not likely to happen.
True.
But is that 1% that it could?
No, because they're not gonna have the amount in a neighborhood to store the vehicles or the,
Wow.
they,
So
they,
there's
yeah, there's.
specific
that's-
footage
yeah,
or acreage they
that's
have to
right,
have?
yes.
So they have to have so much
That-
square
yeah.
footage to be able to do that.
That's right, yeah, like, because you couldn't park them on the road or in the ground.
That's what I'm
yeah.
trying to figure
That's
out. I
right,
mean, I
that's
don't-
right.
Excuse me, I think you're right, you're on the right track. Here's the thing about it, do you know of any land space that would be available in that particular zoning now that
No.
would have a place for that? Is this the only place out here on 85 that would be in to do that?
Correct. I mean, there's a couple, we.
You just don't want to open yourself up for something that you might get slapped in the face with, or we might get slapped in the face with.
Is it still open for people to resolve?
Yes, sir, you can. You're in the public hearing, yes. We're still in the public
So
hearing.
my question is.
If you would stand up and state your name, please. Thank you. Thank you. That way we got the clerk and put your name down there and let them know you were here tonight. Thank you.
It's Stephen Ron, 808 Rooks Boulevard. So my question is, instead of. So my question is, instead of like diluting down the MU2 side of it, then why can't we just have that individual just rezone it to what his criteria needs for his specific building, instead of muddying it all for MU2 all around the board? And if it goes from that zoning to a different zoning, is there a different tax bracket that he has to pay for that property or anything, so it stays the same?
Yeah, it would.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not telling you what to do. It just makes sense to quit adding on to MU2 that's affecting all MU2s, is just have this individual come back and rezone for his particular property to better suit his needs versus a blanket effect for everybody's.
The
I mean,
property,
this is
property
my-
around that you're talking about rezoning, what's beside of it now? What's beside it?
The whole area down there on Indian Walk is MU2 currently. And so.
So any of those businesses will be able to do what they're doing.
Correct.
So they would be able to do it, so that's more than one area, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So,
asking.
yeah,
about.
so basically what happens is, so where the Indian motorcycle use, where it currently sits, they are allowed to do the recreational vehicle sales there under the old ordinance. It did not change, so they can sell the vehicles there now. Where there's a parcel that they also own directly beside of the Indian motorcycle shop now, that they want to use as like a prep area, so when they sell the campers there, they can prep them there to get them out to the new owner.
How much land space do they presently have there? What's the total area of land space?
Probably like around 2 acres.
It's 2 acres.
Roughly.
What's the need to change it? I mean,
Because currently, right now, they can operate their current business at the Indian motorcycle shop under the existing under the old ordinance that it falls under. The problem that they have is that the vacant lot beside of them, they can't do that under this ordinance because there was never an established business on that lot. So it's really only putting this in place, they can have the camper dealership there right now.
that's what I said.
So are we dealing with campers or motorcycles?
Recreational campers falls under recreational vehicles.
So if it's already that
They can-
ordinance, then why do we need to change it?
Because the vacant parcel that sits beside of the Indian motorcycle shop, that's what this is.
Seems like they're trying to get more land space, is that correct?
They just want to
For
be
what
able
they're,
to,
for what they're wanting to do.
they want to be able to access and use the vacant lot beside of the building.
And yes, that would increase the property value because the
Correct.
present, and that's what, it has a good question, because that will increase the property value, I'm sure, because it would go from whatever zoning now to where you can have more activities and make money.
Does this need to read rather than motorcycle sales new and used? Should it not say recreational?
It-
Since we're talking,
Yeah, recreational vehicles, the second line. Or the last line.
yeah, and service,
It all falls under that.
or is motorcycle sales covering,
Where they're presently.
full throttle?
No, Full Throttle's able to operate there already, and so would the
So it's already
recreation.
zoned.
Yes.
So that's not affecting any other areas?
It's not gonna affect any of the areas, and again, it's the reason for adding this listed use is so they can put a prep shop on the vacant lot, there.
Would you need to add the accessory standards in chapter 10.1-37, like these are here?
Yeah, because we were just gonna add it as a listed use
It has to
for
be,
there.
in the ordinance that you're trying to change, it has to be specifically what you're doing, not being vague to where you can do it yourself, or whatever, as zoning chairman, whatever, or Miss Dumont, whatever. It needs to be in black and white as to what you can or cannot do under the changes. If you're gonna make a change, it has to be above board across the line, not bits and pieces. But that's up to the council. I don't vote. I'm just a poor, what is it, figurehead. I don't know.
I pulled up the mixed use, our zoning map, there's only 4 properties in Lowell that are businesses that are zoned mixed use.
That's MU2, it's only 4 addresses, 4 business, and they're all business.
So there's no residential?
There's nothing
There's no
residential.
residential, yeah.
No residential.
All right. I guess we need a motion to close the public hearing. Unless the council has any more questions, I'm sorry.
Motion to make, close public hearing.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Now we need to have a motion to adopt it or turn it down.
Make a motion to approve Article 8 text amendment.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. All right, city attorney report.
We have
Under
the
six.
added items 6B and 6C.
I don't have it in front of me, but what is it? Thank you. Okay. All right, I guess it's, accept the city manager's resignation, right? We have a motion to accept the city manager's resignation.
Make a motion that we accept city manager's notice of resignation.
Have a second?
Second.
All right. Anyone under discussion, anyone have anything under discussion? I want to say, Tyler, I thank you for trying to help us. In your time here, I think we're learning as we go along. I think you're learning a whole lot. But thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Tyler, I just want to say I just came on board in November, but I've enjoyed working with you. I think you've done a wonderful job, and certainly going to miss you. So, wish you well wherever you go and whatever you do.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else have any comments? All in favor? All opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you, Tyler. The next thing will be the North Carolina League of Municipalities, I guess, trying to get a city manager or whatever. That'd be up to the council to, we just need to, I guess, try to find someone interim to, we'd have a budget meeting coming up on Friday, correct? I don't think we.
Make a motion that we consider the North Carolina League of Municipalities for the placement of interim manager.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. All right, Mr. Attorney?
I don't have anything tonight.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, how about you?
I
Mr.
don't
Bates?
have anything.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bates. Okay. Mr. Sherwood? Mr. Smith?
Thank you to the citizens and staff, admin, police department for all you guys do. Thank y'all for coming out, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, Mr. Lester? The only thing, I got a few things. I want to congratulate Mr. Smith for taking the lead and helping us recognize our girls' basketball team over here at Holbrook Middle School. 61 wins, 5 state championships in a row. that's something to be proud of. It looks like ESPN or even WBTV or someone will come recognize that as a feat that we'll never see in our lifetime. But I'm so proud of them, and I'm thanking you, Mr. Smith, for taking the lead on that.
You're welcome.
And thank you. And another thing that it's always been a concern of mine, at the Lowell Ballpark, we don't have any asphalt on the parking lot, and we have all this power bill money and things like that. And if we would change it to call it Ballpark Boulevard and use the power bill money and alleviate our problems at the club, at the new rec center, to where you'd have parking and things like that. And also, Mr. Attorney, I direct this question to you, and that's nothing that I can't hate you for it, because I don't hate him. I'm gonna go to heaven. I don't hold no grudges. But how in the blank, and I'm gonna leave it as a blank, were they able to put a power company where they could charge cars on public property without no revenue to the city, no revenue, none? How can any citizen go out there and put a business on town property and not have to pay a fee or have to adhere to the zoning or anything? How does that work?
So you'd have to adhere to zoning, and you would have to have permission from the property owner to do that.
I mean, ultimately, the council would have to give the permission to do what they did.
Correct.
Okay, now you tell me, I've never seen the orders, I've never seen the minutes as to when it happened. But I do want a record of how that happened and how, an individual, Duke Energy is a big company, I guess. And who owns that? Who owns the activity going on out there? And they're paying no property taxes.
What?
But they're making money.
Explain what you're asking. I'm not
I'm
sure I
asking you
understand
how
the
they can have a
question.
business to charge cars out there and no revenue to the city, no revenue whatsoever.
You're talking about Harold Rankin Park.
Yes.
Okay.
Where they put the charging station in.
Okay.
That, to me, that's the biggest unfair trade advantage in the history of mankind. People out here to open a convenience store, they have to go out and buy the property, build the building, whatever. This is a business that they're not spending any money on other than to put the actual charging station in on our property with no revenue to the city, and no one knows who owns it.
Who owns the charging station?
Who owns it?
Power owns. The
Let me
actual
ask you
charging
something. Did you power charge you for your power? Absolutely.
in my house, and
Yes.
they charge you for, when you charge your vehicle.
I'm talking about they charge, you don't get any money out of it. Duke Energy does. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's a business
And
that
the
we don't
town
get nothing for.
And the town don't get any money from me on my energy bill. Duke Energy does.
Yeah, but you're paying a Duke Energy bill. Listen,
Right.
you're paying a Duke Energy bill, but you're paying,
You're paying Duke Energy.
there's a
when you
business out
charge
there
your
making
car.
money off of you. The citizens of Lowell, they're making money because they have no
I
overhead.
didn't vote to put it in there.
I didn't say you did. The question is this: how is it able to go that way?
It's above my head. Can't answer it.
Well, I mean,
the attorney can.
the city is the
it's
owner of the
crazy.
property, would have to give permission for Duke Energy to install the charging station.
Yes, but listen, Duke charges us for this power for this building. If they're gonna make money out there, we should be getting revenue from that property, whatever business it is. Just like any business in town, you get money. How can you say that that's okay without us getting a penny on our property that we own, and they're putting a business on it, making money, and we don't get anything out of it? How was that concocted? I don't understand it.
Well, that would be based on the city council at the time could
Well, you were the
approve
attorney at
that
the time, am I
contract.
right? Were you the
Look
attorney?
up the minutes and
No,
find
no,
it.
this is serious business. Now, you don't interrupt me, I don't interrupt you. I'm asking a serious question. How can they make money off the taxpayers of
I'm gonna
Lowell?
excuse myself.
Please. How can they make money off the taxpayers of Lowell and they charge us for everything we use, but we don't get any revenue? How can that be? How can that, if that's not the,
If
that's an
that's what the
unfair trade
contract
advantage.
says, and that's what was voted on and presented to the council, then that's okay. The
So in
council is the
other
one
words,
that.
if anyone want
has
to go
the
down
right.
to the ballpark and they want to present to the council, they want to put a business in there, a car wash or whatever. If they're making money, whatever business they're going to put in there, they'll be making money.
Well-
But to use the taxpayer's property, the land, and not get a dime for it or get any revenue is ludicrous. I don't care what they say. You say, or the Pope, anyone.
That's not like a legal question for me to answer one
Well,
way
they're
or another.
making money. Do
The
you think they're making
what
money?
was
Do you
presented-
think that Duke Energy is making money?
That's not the issue, Mr. Mayor.
Read the minutes has nothing to do with it.
Well-
You cannot go out, you cannot use property like that.
The council has the right to to make a decision to
Okay,
let
get
someone
me
use the
the
property.
minutes.
Mayor, do you mind if I excuse myself?
Please, just get me the minutes of it, how you concocted it on your legal.
I didn't
thing.
concoct anything.
You had to come up with legal jargon for it to be adopted. It has to be a legal situation. All right,
We don't have a quorum anymore.
that's all right, but I'm still gonna talk.
Well, I mean,
Anything.
again, I'm just letting the
I appreciate
citizens
it,
know we
that's
don't
good.
have a quorum.
All right. And also, listen, this is very important. The United States is gonna be 250 years old. We're not doing anything to help us. You know, we don't even have nothing planned for the 250-year celebration. But y'all can go ahead and go home. Thank you. We appreciate you coming. That money is crazy. I don't.